Hey YouTube, I thought I'd do a quick video. I've noticed a trend on Amazon when purchasing e-bikes, not being able to return them to the seller. Amazon doesn't want to deal with it, and the sellers don't really want to deal with it. So buyer beware. If you buy an e-bike on Amazon and it says it can't be returned, it can't be returned. You're going to run into where they're going to try to send you to a local bike shop and have them diagnose and fix the problem. Here's the issue. E-bikes, most of them are not the same. They're just, most bike shops that sell e-bikes work on higher end stuff and are used to it, have to diagnose plugins and stuff like this. But these e-bikes aren't well thought out. The Chinese ones, they're can be a mishmash of parts that really don't work well together. So you end up with a bike that you can't use or may be able to use in some limited basis, and then it's up to you to try to figure out how you're going to get it fixed. You might run into a guy like me that has a lot of experience already with them and knows what to check, or you might run into a bike shop that has summertime help that doesn't have a clue. And it's not easy to diagnose a problem that may be fleeting or happen just once in a while. Today I put a new cable on my bike and was going to film it, and then figured out that I don't know where my tripod stuff is, so I didn't film it. It really doesn't matter. It's not that hard of a deal to replace. The bike needs a good cleaning. We're around 7,500 miles now, so we've completed over 2,000 miles this year already, and we're not even halfway through the summer. Well, technically we are, but halfway through the riding season. I usually can ride clear into November, sometimes December, so I'm probably going to end up with about 15,000 miles this year. Well, maybe. I should say maybe I'll end up with that, depending on how I do this fall on weather. I'll ride in the rain, that doesn't bother me none, but I do not like riding in snow. It just doesn't make sense for me. I was just checking out the tire. We still got lots and lots of tread on the tire. And I could rotate them and move the one to the back, but we're just not going to mess with it probably for another 1,000 miles. Chain and cassette probably going to get changed here pretty soon. I have to order one, and I'm probably going to go with what I had because they have over 3,000 miles on them and they're still going strong. So probably going to just stay with the HG 500 cassette and the HG 54 chain is the two items that I've used that I've got the best mileage out of. I put them on here when I put this derailleur system in on, so yeah. I've noticed lately there's been a lot of people on straight up scooters on this trail. And I think on the paved trail they could be on the trail, but I think once it turns to dirt, they can't be on it. The trail manager isn't too hot on e-bikes being on it, but he hasn't said anything to me. Even when I used to ride my electric on it, he never said anything. I've stopped and talked to him a few times, even on my electric. So, buyer beware when you buy an e-bike off of Amazon or any place that says you cannot return it. That should be a red flag for you, and you should just move on to the next item. What we're finding is a lot of these e-bikes that are non-returnable are old stock, and if the battery hasn't been tested and UL listed, then they can't return it through the mail. It has to be handled by a carrier that's qualified to handle that item. And so it could be that in this case it might be UPS or FedEx will be the only ones that will be able to return the bike, and that's expensive. Yeah, in some cases the cost of returning the bike might be equal to the cost of the bike. So keep that in mind if you're buying off eBay or Amazon or anywhere that says that you can't return the e-bike. If it's defective, then you need to not buy from them, no matter how tempting the price may be. A couple weeks ago, I seen this guy stopped on the side of the trail tinkering with his bike, trying to get it going again. It was a no-name with a no return policy, and my conclusion was the battery was dead. And he said, but it was showing before it just died completely, it was showing almost a full battery. And I said, well, could be that manufacturer just makes it look like the battery's functioning well, but once it gets to a certain point it dies, and then you're stuck with a bike that you can't even get home, because he said it was too hard for him to even pedal it. He ended up calling somebody to come and pick him up because I couldn't even get the bike going. I was pretty sure it was a dead battery, and it might have been that the battery failed while it was on his ride, or it might be just that the voltmeter wasn't showing the correct information and the battery was indeed just dead. Well, so he was stuck with a bike that at the very least he's gonna have to buy a new battery and rail. I think you can find a battery that'll fit on those no-name bikes without much of an issue, but you may also have to replace the mount for the battery too, especially if it's some proprietary crap. I'm going to be adding a second battery to this. It's going to go in the bag because it is a power pack like the one I have on here, but I'm going to be adding it. Will bring my total watt available up to 900, and the total amps, it'll be around 25, so I should be able to go 90 miles on a single charge. Right now I can go, I definitely do 45 and have some left. I had one bar left at 45 miles, so this battery I would say would make it to 50, and the other one will make it to 40, so my guess is 90 miles of reliable range. And I have some bike trails that I can test that out on. Not that I want to go out and ride 90 miles. I need some better biking shorts if I'm going to do those kind of ranges, because the ones I have just don't do much. Okay, 8 minutes into the video. Buyer beware. Little update on the bike. You should be seeing me do a video here pretty soon with me adding a second battery and seeing how that works. Have a great day.